On today's episode of Always in Escrow, we speak with Tobias Hamilton, a fourth-generation piano rebuilder who has worked with some of the top pianists in the entire world.
Find out if you have to actually spend the bucks to buy a new piano or just get a refurbished one.
Hello and welcome to Always in Escrow with Colby Burchin and Sarina Appel. Hello, Colby.
Serena, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm having the best week. I've been working with some amazing new clients and actually have gotten some hits in the New York Times and Esquire and among many others just this week alone. So I am over the moon excited. And how about you? How's your week been?
I'm having a pretty great week. I have some exciting news. I can't share it yet, but at the end of this week, some big things are happening for real estate with my whole team here. So I'm very, very excited. And on today's show, I am super thrilled because we have Tobias. Give him your intro, Serena. Tell everyone about Tobias.
Tobias Hamilton is the owner of Hamilton Piano Company, a world-renowned fourth-generation piano company based in West Palm Beach, Florida, that services all of Florida and the entire United States. Some of the skilled work Hamilton does at their shop includes rebuilding and custom designs, and maybe only 300 people in the country know how to do this type of work. Tobias is the first in his family to open a shop and has become the largest rebuilding shop in all of Florida. Since 1955, his family has worked for some of the biggest concert pianists in the world. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here. Thank you very much.
So Tobias and I met because I was looking for a piano for my family. And, I went around town trying to find that right fit. And, there's a lot of showrooms, but I really didn't know much about pianos. But I also didn't know I didn't want to spend $80,000 to $100,000 for a piano for my kids because I knew they would almost kill it. So someone gave me the phone number of Tobias, and right away when I connected with Tobias, he knew everything. Budget, that was the biggest thing for me and my family. And I went to his showroom. His showroom was incredible. It's huge. And you could pick so many different things. So it was such a learning experience, but he just is a wealth of knowledge. And I wanted the show to have him on and explain to everyone so everyone could find out how they could afford and own a beautiful piano. Tobias, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Of course. So my first question, I'm going to just dive right into it. Do you have to buy a new piano or a refurbished piano? Like, can people buy a refurbished piano, or do they have to automatically buy a new piano?
No, I mean, you can buy either or. Some people like to have a new one because it comes with a new warranty. A pre-owned piano that's either rebuilt properly or is like a brand new piano, just you don't pay the brand new price, is more cost effective for customers, and that's why pretty much that's what we sell, is because as soon as you buy a new one, it's like a car, it's worth less. With a pre-owned piano, you kind of keep that value depending on, in the future, you could probably get what you paid for it, possibly, but new pianos, do cost more than pre-owned pianos. So it's more cost effective for customers to buy a pre-owned piano.
I know that a lot of this knowledge that you bring to the table is also from, so many decades of experience. So really, thank you for sharing with us kind of like all that your grandfather taught you, all that your father taught you, and now what you're teaching your son. So thank you so much for doing the work you're doing. Just wanted to start there. I wanted kind of bring into the picture some of the buzzy name brands that are out there. And one of which comes to mind is Steinway. And, is it necessary to get a Steinway, or should people and consumers really consider the other some name brands?
Every manufacturer is different. Steinway is on the top of the tier of pianos, along with some other manufacturers. Yamaha's up there. And what it comes down to really when you're looking for a piano is the touch and tone, the way it plays and the way it sounds. So some pianists prefer maybe this manufacturer over it because it's a little lighter in touch, brighter in sound, or they may prefer this piano because it's a warmer tone and it's a little heavier touch. So it comes down to what the pianist prefers for the different manufacturers out there. But Steinway is definitely a great name piano. You have your Yamaha, Kawai, Bose Norfolk, Bluther. Your European pianos are some of the best in the world. You know, you also have German Steinways. So it can be various vast of pianos that you can choose from. And then, of course, there are some other manufacturers out there that are just kind of okay, and that might be for a beginner pianist. You know, that can, you know, sometimes you can start small and then grow into a, you know, higher end piano down the road if you want to.
When people come in to buy a piano, do you recommend a self-playing piano to many of your customers? Is that a must-have?
Pianos were designed and made to be played. If they're not, then they just become a piece of furniture, and it's not a piece of furniture. It's a musical instrument. So basically, if someone doesn't play the piano, I recommend to have a player system because then it'll play by itself. There's so many moving parts in a piano, there's more moving parts in a piano than in a car. So it's like your car. If your car just sits there and you don't drive it, what's going to happen? It's kind of the same thing with the piano. It turns from an instrument into a piece of furniture, and then it doesn't get taken care of, doesn't get tuned properly, which in the future could cause major problems from happening. So yes, if you have a player system and you can either put the CD in or you go on your iPad or iPhone and you play the piano, and you can sit back and listen to Barry Manilow or Billy Joel playing live in your house, you know, it is a good feature to have to keep the piano going.
That sounds so wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and technology has come a long way too, you know. So it's a nice feature to have for sure.
For my family, we had gotten my son a keyboard, but he got into drums. So, I live up in New York City, and there isn't that much space in our apartment to host a big piano. Our friends definitely have some vertical pianos, and I like to listen to all the kids around the neighborhood practicing too. It's quite wonderful.
Yeah, we've had some recitals here at our shop. We give free tours to our shop where we show the kids the ins and outs of pianos, especially when they're learning how to play, to help keep their interest into it, because it's a proven fact that when you're learning how to play the piano, you're getting your right hand to do something different than your left, and it's firing neurons in your brain that you typically do not use, and it is proven that it will make you smarter as you get older and more well-rounded individual because of the discipline and patience it teaches.
I can think of some of my smartest friends that play. I definitely think that also, you mentioned that your family has worked with some of the most famous pianists in the world over the last few decades. And that too is so inspiring even to our youth, right? That so much amazing talent has played some of your pianos, which is incredible because they're now continuing that legacy.
Yeah, it's I said to my dad and my uncle when I was first getting into business, because my dad had gotten sick. Quick story: my dad got sick and couldn't work, and I was just 18 and I was just learning how to tune, and I took it very seriously. A few years into it, I said to my dad and my uncle, "Why'd you have to be so good at what you did? It's making it so much harder for me." You know, I have thousands of autographed pictures. Colby, you've seen them at my shop. I have them on the wall. And I have photo albums that thick of autographs from, you name it, Van Cliburn, Liberace. My dad got me Lisa Marie Presley's autograph when he came down here in '77 before he died, and somehow he was able to get her autograph. I have that hanging up. But Victor Borga, the Sinatras, I mean, you name it. And we have big billboards from the Oakdale Theater in Connecticut when my grandfather was a tuner, and they used to put the signs out front, and he asked if he could take them. They said yes, so they sat in my dad's back room for 35 years, and we hung them up here at the shop. So it's pretty cool, the nostalgic part of it, because you get to see, some of these artists from back in the day. That's a whole different genre of artists compared to what we have today, and that's the cool thing with the piano is it's never going to die.
We hear that word on the street is that you're creating an acrylic piano right now. Are there any other custom designs that you're working on and others that you have done in your history?
Yes. So we are taking an acoustic piano and making the lid, music desk, prop stick, legs, and pedals out of acrylic. So you can actually see the inside of the piano. Some of them that we're doing is we're putting LEDs inside of it. It lights up with the music when it plays, as it has a player system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We've made a carbon fiber piano, so it looks like a hot rod piano. We've made a piano that looks like a snake, where we took and made it look like snake skin on the inside, and we did a copper color for the plate, because we're rebuilding and refinishing. We can pretty much do what anyone's imagination comes to for the most part.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just wanted to be said that the Burchin household got a regular piano. We didn't go for the acrylic. So, Serena, I'm going to change it up for us today. Tobias is going to ask us 2 questions, and I know you're very competitive. Let's just say competitive. Okay, take it away, Tobias. Ask us some questions, and whoever comes closest. I don't know what we'll get. We'll get something.
How many keys are in a piano?
Serena. She's probably Googling it right now.
No, that's cheating.
I got my hands up. I'm not Googling anything.
I was thinking anywhere from around 88.
It's 88. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. I'm gonna stump you. Is a piano a string instrument or a percussion instrument?
Percussion.
String.
Percussion.
Percussion.
Yes!
Yep. Because you have the hammers are what hits the string. So that makes it percussion. You're not plucking it. And that's a common mistake that people have with pianos. They think it's a string instrument when it's actually percussion.
Okay.
Name 2 piano manufacturers.
I was listening to our conversation, so I heard Kawai, and I heard now I'm not remembering, but then the Steinway, because we were talking about that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say obviously Steinway, and is Smith? Is that one?
Smith, probably back in the day, before the war, there were thousands of manufacturers, and there was a manufacturer with Smith. I'm trying to think of what the first name was. But yeah, I mean, there was a Smith back in the day.
Okay, Serene, you won.
I was paying attention.
Okay.
Well, we are so thrilled that you joined us today. This was so fun and really informative. We can't wait to see all that's to come out of your shop and how much you're growing too and expanding. So we'll be keeping our eye on you and everything coming out of Hamilton Piano Company.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.